My next guests are in for a very soggy handshake, I'll tell them that much. They're a couple who've been in the spotlight for more than a quarter of a century. They scored perfect sixes at the 1984 Winter Olympics and brought home gold medals for that unforgettable performance of the bolero. All these years on, they're back as coaches and mentors in this hit ice dancing show.
This is all as born as blue. You know what I say is true, but I'll be loving you always.
I'm really, really impressed with how much you've developed over these last few weeks.
You concentrated and everything you did was just perfect.
He's come on so much, just the confidence to deliver that performance was great. Well done, Gary.
They've all come a long way.
Well, and kiss her, but I can't shake his hand. Please welcome Jayne, Torvill and Christopher Dean. I'm very sorry. Oh dear, I'm sorry about that. I normally have time to wash my hands and it just wasn't going to come off, so it's going to be very exciting.
You have a little stiff hand.
I'm very stiff-handed sitting there like this. But this is amazing, the success of Dancing on Ice. And I was thinking today when I was reading it, I said, goodness me, it's 17 years since they won the Olympic, and I thought, it's not, you know, it's 27. Jayne, it's wonderful that you're still able to skate so brilliantly.
I know, who'd have thought?
Well, did you?
No. We carried on working professionally after 84, and then we competed again in the 94 Olympics, turned professional again, and we actually retired in 99. No, 98, sorry, yeah. Right. And then several years later, ITV came up with this idea for Dancing on Ice, and we thought our involvement would just be really teaching the celebrities and choreographing, but then they said, well, could you do some demonstrations of the moves? And we said, well, yes, and then, well, could you do them to music? So we said, well, yeah, I guess that's a routine then, isn't it?
It's some retirement then, Chris, really.
It kept on going, yeah, no, we thought we'd retired, we've come back, and we're having a great time right now with the show.
Oh. Well, now, it's now down to the public to judge between the final threes, and you don't sit on the judging panel, so you're allowed to say, so, preferences, Jayne, I mean, who do you think is going to scoop it?
It's so hard to say because obviously we've got Hayley, Gary and Kieran. Kieran was a bit of a dark horse. I don't think anyone would have predicted at the beginning of the series that he would be in the final. Having said that, Chris and I saw something in him from the get-go.
Yeah, here's Kieran doing his bit. Yeah.
I think, you know, with Hayley, obviously she's been at the top of the leaderboard more than anybody, so that would be an obvious choice. But because it's down to the public vote on the night, all the way through the final, it's so unpredictable.
Hayley's been so consistent, though, hasn't she, Chris?
Yeah,
She's been consistent, but she didn't find herself at the top of the leaderboard the week before last. And so that just goes to prove, on any given night, it can change. And it will all come down to, on the final, they've got 3 elements, or 2 elements, then a third element. They've got to do a flying routine, where they're in harnesses, and that can be really tricky. You never know what's going to happen. They do their favourite routine from the series, and then if they get past that, then they have to do the bolero.
Some punishment, isn't it?
It's a hard night, I have to say.
Punishment for winning, really, then. But then you all, regardless of who wins now, you all go off on this ice dancing tour, which is how many nights? A ferocious number of nights.
It's a lot of dates. There's like 39 shows.
Wow.
But we're really excited because we're getting some of the best skaters from the past, like Ray Quinn, Chris Fountain, Gaynor Faye's going to be joining us as well. From Series 1, the champion. And they're all going to be competing every night. And that's what makes it an event every night. We're really excited about it.
On the judging panel, you have Christopher Biggins. That well-known ice skater. I remember, you know, a name you always think of in the same mind as John Curry and Robin Cousins. Christopher Biggins, don't you? You know,
secret weapon.
I think he'll be coming from the performance element, obviously as a performer himself, and a great comedian, I have to say.
He does have a lot to say.
He's a great talker, so I think he will be providing lots of entertainment there.
I think your great job with that is going to be shutting Biggins up. Bless him.
It could be. It could be. I don't know where he's going to sit on the panel, but I may have to have one of those hooks that just hook him every now and then just to quieten him down.
Oh, dear. How long do you know, will you two carry on skating together indefinitely now? Do you still enjoy it? Jayne, as much as ever you did. It's not listening. Just
We haven't actually confirmed that we're going to stay together skating.
Not since the beginning.
Right from the beginning, we said to each other, we'll give it another week, and we've never really, since then, confirmed whether we're going to carry on.
35 years later.
So every time you meet... So you did come back then, really?
Yeah.
It was...
In those days, were people always trying to conjure romance between you in those early days? You know, there must be something. You can't possibly be that physically and close, you know, and emotionally, because, you know, routines take emotion. You can't be that close without there being some spark.
I think initially it was when we started being in the newspapers, because we were competing at World Championship level, and obviously there was a great interest around the time of the Olympics, because that was sort of the pinnacle of our competitive career, and it happened to be on Valentine's Day when the final was.
We did this very intense, emotional piece, Bolero, and I think everybody wanted us to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Was it never romantic? Was it always just friendship?
Never romantic.
Never romantic.
They both said that very
we do
far
love
as
each
we
other,
go.
but we're not romantic.
in a brotherly and sisterly way.
Yeah.
We stayed together for such a long time. We've known each other now for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
So, we're
We
best
met on
friends.
the ice. You see how romantic that story? We met on the ice at the ice rink in Nottingham.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
He said, "Hello, who are you?" I'm Jayne Torvill. What did you used to say he was before?
The
you
blonde
knew?
prince. He was the blonde prince. Yeah.
The blonde prince.
Still is.
And the blonde princess.
Working
Ladies and gentlemen, Jayne Torvill and Christopher Dean. Still the Gommel 30s 80 show. She's been through a lot in the last few months. She's here to tell me all about it. That's Emmerdale actress Charlotte Bellamy. We ask, are men becoming too girly? Chris, don't answer that.